All right. So in awareness, there is no choice. If I'm looking at something, correct? And that is what I'm looking at, then what is that I'm becoming aware in meditation? Sometimes we try to think that what we can become aware of, we can control in our meditation. The whole idea of controlling my awareness itself is a wrong idea.
Mhm.
So you cannot predetermine what you can become aware of in your meditation because awareness is not a choice. Awareness is what it is, whatever appears in your consciousness is what you're going to become aware of, right? So this is the reason I'm repeating it is so that if you understand this concept, then you understand what meditation is. Okay.
Wait, Shrikant, awareness and vision, are they the same thing?
No.
No. So you're not talking about awareness as in seeing an object. You're talking about awareness as in meditation, just being present and aware of something around you.
Yeah. Something appeals to you.
Within you.
Yeah. So this awareness is now we are not talking of any material things. Like suppose if you become aware of your thoughts, what is the form of that thought? There's no form. And interestingly, if you observe it, there is a language for your thought. What if I don't know any language? What would be the form of my thought? So that's why even animals have language. Any mind which is thinking has a long language.
If not, it could be vision or something you heard,
Yes,
something your senses perceived.
correct. So animals perceive it in its own vibe. So what is language in this sense becomes a vibratory state for your mind. Okay. And it's interpreting. So mind becomes an interpreter for your awareness. But awareness is the first thing. And so when this mind become aware of our waking state, our thoughts and everything, so that awareness is at an active level, active state, where who is the witness for that state? It's our mind, correct? And then when we enter into a dream state, so dream state also has certain language, certain images, pictures, figures, whatever. So the dream state, still the mind is aware of the dream state. When we go into a deep sleep or deep sleep like meditation or deep state of meditation, mind becomes absent. Then who is witnessing that deep state? It's our consciousness is witnessing at the to begin with. Consciousness is the one which is causing the awareness. But here now the mind becomes unaware and the consciousness became aware. See, suppose if I'm deep asleep, when I wake up, I'll say, oh, I had a very deep sleep today. How do you know you have a
Mhm.
deep sleep? Where your mind is absent. So there the consciousness. So when we come on to an awaken or when I wake up from my sleep, the consciousness is giving a feedback, hey, you had a deep sleep. So the feedback is always coming to the state of mind. That's why our only instrument we have to become aware of the inner essence or the soul or the inner God, inner master, whatever you want to call it, which is always there with you, whether you believe it in or not, or whether you're aware of it or not. And that awareness is brought all the way to the mind. And so from a deep sleep, If I go into a fourth state, which is called Turiya, beyond deep sleep, that is a real state of meditation. And that's what the true Samadhi is. And then heartfulness speaks about beyond the fourth state. It doesn't have a name, so it is called Turiya Teeth, means beyond the fourth state. When we go beyond the fourth state, the consciousness becomes aware of the soul or inner essence. Now, this soul should not be treated as an individual soul, okay? This soul is all pervading essence of the highest or higher. When we become aware of this soul, then slowly we start identifying it with that soul. See, we are identifying with whatever we possess. I identify with this body because I possess this body. I identify with my thoughts because I possess my thoughts. And slowly I identify with my consciousness because I possess with the consciousness. And then I will realize that I also possess the soul, and then I am the soul.
Mm.
Right? That's where the consciousness or awareness of the soul begins, from the fifth state. And when will you reach that fifth state? You will reach that fifth state when we receive what we call the transmission, the yogic energy is introduced into our heart. In fact, it is not introduced from somewhere from outside. Daji gives a very good example about this. Suppose when you turn on the fan, you feel the air.
Mhm.
Did fan create the air? No. The air is already present in the room. It is blown towards you so that the air becomes evident. If the air is not blowing to you, the air is still there, but that stillness of the air, we are not feeling it, right? Similarly, the transmission, the yogic energy or the pranasya prana in Sanskrit means the life of life is already present within us. So there is no new yogic energy is entering into our body. It sort of becomes evident with the intention of the person who is, we call it transmission, but it's the intention which is invoking, which is making evident, which is already there.
Mm.
You
So
understand?
it's the intention of what? Of who?
The intention of the you can call the guru or the teacher, the who is intending that okay, when you meditate, that should become evident for you, and it becomes evident for you. It's like
Mm.
turning on the fan switch. So that happens when you start practicing doing the cleaning and the prayer as per the prescribed the practice, then we become more and more aware of it.
But
Hello.
Shrikant, we get transmission every day, but we don't go into the Turiyatit state every day.
That's a good question. We go into Turyati, the fifth state every day in our every meditation. One of my friend asked, "Oh, we talk about goal in heartfulness. How many people have reached goal so far?" And this is my answer to this friend who asked this question. He said, "Every time you meditated, anyone who meditated with that aid of transmission have reached the goal in every meditation." So, because of our engagement of the mind in so many activities, even when that goal we become aware at a deep conscious state, it doesn't reach our mental state. reason my mind is occupied somewhere else.
Mm.
So the slope, the practice is to make me available to perceive that state. So what happens over a period of meditations, the glimpses of what you have experienced in the first meditation might come after 100th meditation to us. So that's why what I'm telling you is awareness is not by choice. We cannot pick and choose what I should become aware of. But as long as my attention somehow is drawn towards it, suppose my attention is drawn towards the family, I become aware of the family. If my attention is drawn towards a TV, I become aware of the TV or what is being played on the TV. Even if the person is not in front of me, if I think about that person, means my attention is drawn towards that person. I am already feeling that person, the presence. If I like that person, I feel good. If I don't like that person, anger or irritation comes to my mind. Because that's why the awareness is not a choice. So many times I laugh at people when they suggest you think positive. How can you think positive? Right? So there's nothing
Mm.
called thinking positive. So, but as my awareness state is changing or my intentions are changing, right? So I go above positive and negative. And one more thing is you cannot have a positive thinking without the base being the negative thinking. For example, suppose if I tell myself I am going to be healthy, what is the idea? That I can fall sick, right? Suppose if I say I'm only going to tell the truth, that means I can also lie. So you cannot have a positive idea without a negative idea behind it. Or you cannot have a negative idea without the positive idea behind it. So we always toggle between the states. But when my consciousness state reaches this fifth state, when I become aware of the inner essence, then once it slowly starts becoming that identity, then I feel that that inner essence is in everything and everywhere. So I cannot treat myself with another person as a separate individual entity. The whole universe becomes one, the whole existence become one. So that's why then all the judgments, all these unnecessary things will drop out of our life. Slowly they just keep dropping. You should observe that in your life. There are a lot of things which we used to give importance to are dropping as we practice because they're unnecessary. So if I see a person whom I didn't like, then I'll be thinking in my mind, should I talk to this person or should I ignore this person? But if you are a good meditator, you'll forget everything about that person and you talk to that person as if you are meeting for the first time. So, like that, I'm just telling you one simple example. So, the key point here is to become available to that fifth state, the deeper conscious state. So, what is the deeper conscious state? Like I said, the first state is the awake state where my mind is becoming aware. So, the mind becomes a witness to everything. In my dream, also, there is some level of consciousness, but still the mind becomes aware of the dream. In a deep state of meditation, the consciousness becomes aware of the consciousness itself. And the fourth state, the deeper meditation, and then when you go to the fifth state, the consciousness become aware of the essence. And this fifth state is possible because of the yogic energy or the transmission.
What happens in the fourth state again?
Fourth state, consciousness become aware of the consciousness itself.
But that's also in deep sleep.
Somewhat. But
So
there,
it's in
it's a
stages.
transition between the mind to the consciousness. But here, in the fourth state, mind is completely absent. Right? So
Okay.
that's why the aid of transmission is the key here. So otherwise, at the most, you can go to the fourth state on your own. But the fifth state is not possible on your own. And we not being the greatest meditators. That's why Daji says, whoever, even in their first meditation, they'll go to the fifth state. Everyone, like I said, everyone will go to that state the moment transmission is introduced.
And then how do you then
I
become
don't
aware
understand.
of the condition of that state?
Okay. There is another question. Somebody else is saying something.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I don't understand how you can be aware every time you meditate. You said of the transmission?
Yes. Okay. So I sort of answered the second question already.
Yeah.
So the feedback always comes all the way to the mind. See, for example, I am deep asleep. When I am awake, how do I know that I am deep asleep? So the feedback comes to the mind, mental status later, at the end, when I wake up.
Okay.
Similarly, when I wake up from my meditation, the awareness of the consciousness, the soul, comes to the mind, mental status.
Mhm.
That's why the last minutes are the very important part of the meditation, so that I can carry it out, even after meditation. Now, going back to your question, Varsha, what was your question again?
Oh, you already answered it. So when the mind becomes aware, then the condition has been set.
Correct. So, because our only available tool is mind. And how do I become aware? I mean, it's slowly, kind of, my mind starts paying attention to it. Right now, my mind might not be paying attention to it because I don't see that as the most important thing for me. So my mind is occupied with so many other things wherever it is drawn to. My office, my family, something else, right? So that's why the key part of the meditation is, when we meditate, the first thing is relax yourself completely and know that this is the only thing you are going to do for next half hour. Make yourself available mentally, and then you become a witness. So when in a witness, you're not controlling anything what happens in your meditation. As long as you're not controlling your thoughts, not controlling anything in your meditation, you are in meditation. The moment you apply any control, you're out of meditation.
I have a question
Yes.
about so-called deep meditation.
Uh-huh.
I meditate with a number of people one-on-one sometimes,
Right.
the app, through others, through you. And some people say, well, that was a deep meditation. And many times I feel it was deep.
Right.
Other times I don't feel like it was deep, but I'm told it was deep.
Yes.
It doesn't matter to me, really, that interpretation, but does it mean anything if I don't think it's deep and other people tell me it's deep?
No, it doesn't mean anything.
I didn't think so. Okay.
Once you close your eyes, whatever it is, it doesn't mean anything to this life.
Well, anyway, I kind of, as you know, the way I kind of view it,
Yeah.
whatever it is, and it's all good, to varying extents.
Right. So, because my awareness is what it is, that's why I started with this idea that there is no alteration to the awareness. We cannot control it. If you are controlling it, it is not awareness. Whatever it is, whatever appears, is awareness. All right. So it's almost 7:24. Let's get into meditation.